hello to all my Sunday school families. I hope that you're having a really nice holiday weekend so far. Easter is a really special time for Christians because it's the time when we think about how Jesus died for us, and it's the time that we celebrate that he didn't stay dead, but he rose from the dead. Now, my Sunday school kids, I don't know if you remember what we did last year for Easter in Sunday school, but we had some eggs that looked a bit like this. And I had you go find the eggs where they were hidden, and then we opened them one by one, and inside each egg was a clue to the story of Jesus. We had things like a thorn in one of the eggs to remind us that Jesus wore a crown of thorns, or we had a stone in one of the eggs to remind us that a stone was rolled in front of the tomb after Jesus died. So I thought we'd do something else with eggs today, and we're going to play a game. The great thing about eggs is you can guess, but you don't really know what's inside them. So the game we're going to play is I'm going to open an egg. I'm going to show you what's inside it. And then you're going to guess whether the next egg has a better prize in it or a not so good prize. So let's start. And anybody who's sitting there with you can join in. So the first egg, we open up and it's got a 2p coin in it. Okay? So have a think. This egg has something in it, but it's not making very much noise. Do you want to guess? Do you think this is going to have a better prize in it or not as good a prize as the 2p coin? Now that you've guessed, let's have a look. Oh, it's a £10 note. So if you said there was a better prize in the blue egg, you get a point. Keep track of how many points you get right. All right, I think we'll do the pink one next. So have a guess. Do you think that's a better prize in there or not as good a prize? What do you think? Not as good as the £10 note? Let's open it up. Ooh. Right, this is an interesting one because that's a coin. So probably your first guess is that it's not as good as the £10 note, but if I told you that this is a special American coin that's actually made out of silver, this is a little bit of a trick question, it's worth pretty much the same as that one. Okay? So if you guessed the same, you got it right. If you didn't, you don't get a point. Right, now we're going to do an orange egg. So do you think what's in the orange egg is better than my coin that's worth £10 or not as good as my coin? Oh, I got some chocolates. So you might think that's a better prize than the silver coin, except the silver coin could buy a much bigger amount of chocolate. So it's not as good a prize, actually. So if you said that that was going to be not as good as prize, you get a point. Right, it's time for our purple egg. All right. As good a prize as the chocolate or not as good? I don't know if you know what this is. This is actually the key to my car. So I would say that's quite a good prize, actually, and it's probably worth more than the chocolates. All right, we're getting close. We've got 2 more eggs left. So the green one. Do you think the green egg is a better prize than the keys to my car or not as good a prize? What do you think? It's another key. What do you think? Do you think that's a better prize than that one or not as good? What if I told you that is the key to my house? That's a pretty good prize. That means you could have my house. So if you guessed it was a better prize than that one, you get a point. And the last one is this egg. So if you haven't got a point yet, this is your last chance. Do you think what's in here is better than the key to my house or not as good? You ready? Oh, there's nothing in it. So if you guessed that that wasn't as good a prize as the key to my house, you get a point. So maybe stop the video and count up how many points you got and see who got the most. So empty things can be really disappointing, can't they? This is Buddy's treat tin. And he loves the treats in here so much. So when I shake it, he's going to come running. I knew he would. Sit. He loves the treats in here. They are his favorite thing. But sometimes we run out, all gone. All gone. Poor buddy, all the treats are gone. Okay, you can go out now. He'll probably stay sitting there. Excuse me, I'm just going to move the tin. I don't know about you, but sometimes I get very sad when the biscuit tin is empty or the fridge is empty. Or maybe, I don't know if your family does stockings on Christmas, but sometimes when you've taken all the goodies out and you get to the bottom and it's empty, you feel really sad. Empty things can definitely be sad, but not always. I want you to imagine that you were friends with Jesus when he lived on the earth. He was your friend and you loved him and you knew that he was special and that he was the Son of God. And he told you about lots of wonderful things about heaven and about God the Father and about being a Christian. He told you how everything was going to be different now that he had come into the world, how bad things were going to be sorted out, and how good things were going to happen. He told you that God's kingdom had actually come to earth. You were excited when you saw all the miracles that Jesus did and the good words that he spoke, and you couldn't wait to spend time with him every day to see what he would say and do next, because it was always really, really good. And then one day, Jesus got arrested. He hadn't done anything wrong, but he was taken away, and suddenly things seemed a bit darker. And then the person who could have decided to let Jesus go free doesn't, and he is still arrested, and you wonder if anything that Jesus said would ever come true, and you miss Jesus, and the world seems darker still. And then Jesus dies on a cross, and you feel so sad, and you feel confused about what has happened, and you don't know if you will ever feel happy again. And you wonder where God is, and if he will do what he promised that he said he would do. And the world felt very, very dark. And so Jesus was taken down off the cross, and he was buried in a tomb. And all of Jesus' friends got together, and they were so sad. And they missed him, and they didn't know if they would ever be happy again. But 2 days later, something happened. Two of Jesus' friends went to go see the tomb where he had been buried. And you will never believe what happened. The tomb where Jesus had been buried was empty. And then, suddenly, everything is different. The sun is shining, and the birds are singing. And you know that everything is going to be okay. Because Jesus, your friend, the Son of God, is alive again. And you know that an empty tomb isn't sad or disappointing. It's actually really, really good news. Because it means that Jesus has risen from the dead, just like he told you he would. And so everything he told you is true. And you know that God loves you so much. So I hope that you and your families, as you celebrate Easter, will remember how loved you are. I hope that you will know that you don't have to worry about anything, because God always keeps all of his promises. And if you haven't already, Easter would be a really good time to sit down with Mom and Dad and pray to God and ask Jesus to come live inside you, to be his child, and to follow him all the days of your life. Have a really great Easter. See you soon.